Portland is the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
Oh, it's so good to be back. What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando, joined by the one and only Art Edwards. How you feeling this evening, man?
I'm a little down after that Niners-Seahawks game.
I'm going to try and cheer you up, man. Right. So hang tight, Art. It's going to get better after your Niners.
Appreciate it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Beaver Nation, I'm going to ask you, how you feeling? It's been a while since there's been this type of hype in Corvallis.
Oh, yeah.
But head coach Jonathan Smith, he tried to warn us.
You guys earned this. But hear this. We ain't done yet.
That was after Oregon State won at USC for the first time since the average gallon of gas cost 31 cents way back in 1960.
16, 3rd and 1. Castle swings left, goes outside, has the first down. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, he's in, touchdown, Beavers.
Oh, that is awesome, right?
Yes, it is.
Salute to the KGW archives for this gem from 61 years ago. Coach Smith, he was right. They weren't done. This was the scene in Corvallis Saturday night after Everett Hayes kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired to beat Washington 27-24. Thousands rushed the field inside Reser Stadium, celebrating like it was 2011, the last time they beat the Huskies, snapping a 9-game losing streak to UW. Let Rajon Wright describe that feeling.
I don't know how to explain it. It's like a paycheck, you know? You've been working all week, grinding all week, the last 2 weeks, and then you get your paycheck. That's what it feels like.
Tell me you don't know the feeling of getting that paycheck.
Oh, yeah.
The Beavers have won 4 straight. They're 4-1 overall, on top of the Pac-12 North for the first time since the conference created divisions.
Wow.
And no one in the entire Pac-12 has a better record. They're receiving votes in the polls, folks.
They should.
Yeah, their last top 25 ranking was back in 2013. It's coming with another win.
Oh, yeah.
The Beavers experiencing success they haven't seen in years. Remember, Jonathan Smith took over this program 4 years ago, coming off a 1-win season. Art, what impressed you about this run we're seeing out at Oregon State?
You know, mostly that they're able to kind of close the deal right now. You know what? They were close last year a lot of times, but what we were always saying is they got to be able to close the deal. Well, they closed it against USC in big-time fashion and came back and won the game yesterday against Washington. It was awesome.
We're looking at highlights of them running the ball.
Oh, yeah.
They've been the best rushing team in the conference. This has been their bread and butter, and they've kept that identity. What have you liked about that?
Well, I love the fact that a team can really run the ball, and you need to be able to do that. You got to be able to keep your defense off the field. And on a day when Chance Nolan struggled, this was exactly what they had to do.
B.J. Baylor is a bad man, and shout out to the defense who is holding up its end of the deal right now, and it's coming through with big plays. They're winning the turnover battle. Your thoughts about the defense, Art?
Well, you know, the defense has just been sensational like that. You know, they used to get pushed around. Not anymore.
Yeah, they are a problem right now
Yes,
for
they
the
are.
opposition. Let's see if they can keep it going. They'll take on Washington State. All right, Art. Totally different feeling for the Oregon Ducks. Suffering their first loss of the season, falling from 3rd to 8th in the AP Top 25. Should we blame the refs, Art?
Can't do that.
No, there's plenty of blame to go around from start to finish at Stanford. Quarterback Anthony Brown Jr. said he played like... We'll let you fill in the blank on that. The Ducks came out flat. Offense couldn't score. They trailed by 10 on a couple of different occasions in the first half. However, Oregon shut down Stanford, reeled off 17 straight, took the lead in the second half. The run game got going. Defense stepped up. They seem to have flipped the script, you know, the way that they did against Arizona and Stony Brook weeks before. Oregon was up 7. All they had to do was pick up a first down, and this game is over. Instead, we saw the Ducks spiral. Penalties put the ball back in the hands of Stanford, and what a mess the final 2 minutes were. Stanford strings together an 11-play drive worth 87 yards. Oregon had a couple of major penalties, roughing the passer. There was a targeting call. Kayvon Thibodeau was ejected. Stanford cashed in to force overtime and eventually goes on to win it 31-24 in OT on this very play. Oregon had 10 penalties for 99 yards.
First thing is, correct it, learn from it, and move on. Let's not have this feeling again.
We kind of gave them the game. I mean, we always say we don't leave it up to the refs, especially on the road.
We need to move on, let it burn, let it fuel us, and get ready for the next one.
All right, I'm not trying to make excuses here, but the Ducks were dealing with a lot. Offensive coordinator Joe Moorhead, he missed the game. He was sick. Center Alex Forsyth, he didn't play due to back spasms. And running back C.J. Verdell, he suffered a leg injury. There he is, getting carted off. He's expected to miss significant time. The bye week comes at a good time. As the injuries are piling up, they won't play again until the 15th against Cal. So, Art, you mentioned last week you were concerned about this team. Yeah. What stood out to you about this loss?
Well, the mistakes that they made. I mean, they get inside the 5 2 times, one at the end of the first half, no points. One in the second half, have to kick a field goal. And then the big penalties on that last drive. I mean, this was a game that they had in their back pocket and really should have won.
100%. They got a little complacent there at the end. And Anthony Brown Jr., credit to him because he took credit for a lot of the mistakes that happened in the first half. So, Art, my question to you is, everyone wants to know about the big picture. What does this mean for their national championship / college football playoff hopes?
I think it's going to be really hard for them to get in. I don't see them getting in the playoff now. I felt like they had to run the table based on the quality of their schedule the rest of the way. Arizona State's the one other ranked team that they have left, and I don't think that's going to be enough.
One loss, if they run the table, it might put you back in that conversation. 2 losses, and you are done.
Yep.
You don't get in.
Nope.
Pac-12 already eating itself alive this early on in the season. All right, Art, let's talk about the Portland State Vikings picking up their first conference win. Davis Alexander, that is a bad man. In from 10 yards out in the fourth quarter. That was the game winner. Portland State gets the dub, 20-13 over Southern Utah. We've still got more Sports Sunday ahead. The Seahawks get a much-needed win on the road. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Art. How they finally showed up in the third quarter. Plus, the Blazers open the preseason tomorrow. What you need to know after the first week of training camp. And welcome back to Sports Sunday. The Seahawks looking to rebound after 2 straight losses, facing NFC West rival Art's 49ers.
Yes.
The Seahawks started slow, just 7 points and 80 yards of total offense in the first half. But the game was tied at 7. Then for the first time this year, Seattle showed some spark in the third quarter. Russell Wilson got the team rolling with a 16-yard touchdown run in the third. It's the first time they've scored points in the third quarter this season. Seattle up 14-7, never looked back from that point. Wilson added a third quarter TD pass. The defense held off the Niners. Final count 28-21. It was the 100th regular season win for Russell Wilson. He's the fastest to reach that milestone in NFL history.
I think back to my mom and my dad. They both demonstrated so much faith, and they believed in my brother, my sister, and I so much that they always encouraged rather than discouraged, like I always say. And just, I'm excited about the next 100. There's more championships. There's more things we want to do. There's more of this season that we have to do, and I'm just fortunate. To any young kid out there too, I think about the hard work. Hard work pays off. You have to put the work in.
Oh, that's hard to hate on, right?
Yeah.
Fourth game into his 10th season, and he's got 100 wins under his belt. Art, what does that mean moving forward for those Seahawks?
Well, I think that, the way they won this game was a good thing because we've talked about they've had trouble. They kind of, they get ahead, then they kind of lose that lead. This time, they got the lead, and they held on.
And that was against a good team, too.
Yeah, pretty good team.
All right. Well, Art, it's that time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make a trip around the NFL. Shocking results in Week 4. We start in Southern California. Big NFC West matchup between the Rams and Cardinals. So far this year, it's been the Kyler Murray show. This one nasty. 41-yard TD pass to A.J. Green. Murray had 2 touchdown passes. Cardinals win it 37-20. Did you know the Cardinals have the best record in the NFL right now? They're 4-0.
Man. Hey, we're going to take the trip down south to the Big Easy for the Saints hosting the Giants. This is one of the surprises of the day. Saquon Barkley. Maybe he's back. The 6-yard touchdown run in overtime to give the Giants that 27-21 win over the Saints. New York's first win of the season.
We're really going to go back-to-back with this, huh?
Oh, yeah.
The Big Apple. East Rutherford, New Jersey, for the Jets and the Titans. Told you we're making trips, and the Jets get a
look at him
field
flex.
goal in overtime to take the lead. The Titans had a chance to tie, but no dice. Jets get the upset win, 27-24 over the Titans. I thought there was a rule where those two teams only make our show when they lose badly.
Right. Well,
wow.
Maybe we got to change it up.
Woo! All right, Art, let's hoop it up for a minute. It was one of the most eventful off seasons in recent memory for the Portland Trail Blazers after getting knocked out of the first round of the playoffs for the 4th time in 5 years. All of a sudden, Damian Lillard's long-term future in Portland was no longer a given, putting urgency on the organization to build a team that could compete for a title. That was addressed at Media Day earlier this week.
Clearly, we were never going to be receptive to moving Dame. We're never going to be receptive to moving Dame. He's the bedrock of this organization, and he's going to be here for as long as he's happy and knows he has a chance to compete.
I didn't expect us to go out there and get Kevin Durant all of a sudden. But, you know, I think the conversations that we've had, you know, what we've sat down and talked about, I feel like it's genuine that we're trying to move in the right direction.
So the significant moves were signing Norman Powell to a long-term deal. They trade for Larry Nance Jr., and they make a change at head coach, bringing in Chauncey Billups. On offense, Billups wants more ball movement, be less predictable, get into the paint, with a major focus on defense. The theme at Media Day could be summarized in one word: accountability.
Something isn't going right. We have to identify what it is. And then, as I would call it, put an address on it. It lets that guy understand and know that he has to be better. And 2, it lets everybody else, it puts everybody else on notice. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants to be the star of the tape.
Oh, man. He is a soundbite, I'll tell you that much.
He is.
Art, so we heard from the team throughout the week. 1 week of practice in. The preseason begins against the Golden State Warriors tomorrow at the Moda Center. What are your first impressions?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. You know, I was out there after the first practice, and of course, everybody's saying the right things because it's the first practice.
It's a honeymoon phase,
right?
Right,
absolutely. And you know what? Chauncey even mentioned that. He said, hey, the guys are all in right now, but, you know, we'll see going forward. They look a little bit different in the drills that they run. You know what? Instead of just passing the ball around the outside and then shooting a 3, it's like people are penetrating and kicking, which is a little bit different than what we have seen from the offense in the past. I know it's just drills, it's just sort of for the fans to see at Fan Fest, but it could be a real difference.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yusuf Nurkic being implemented more into this offense. He was excited and obviously thrilled about that, to be more a part of it, to have the ball in his hand, to use him to make decisions, use the screen, that type of thing. But you're going to see more guys touch the ball. How about Larry Nance Jr., Art?
Yeah, you know what? I think he's going to be really key for this team because they're going to need somebody who's going to be gritty, play some defense. And he's a guy who's already said, I'll do whatever they want me to do. They want me to play a little bit. They want me to play a lot. Doesn't matter. Whatever they want, I'll do it.
That's music to Damian Lillard's ears, CJ McCollum's ears, guys that just want to go out there, get dirty, and help them out. But we got to see them defend, and I know that CJ said, you can hold me to the fire. I want to defend. I want to be better at that. Damian Lillard saying the same thing. So let's see how they do, man. We're getting closer to basketball season.
We are.
All right, the new look Portland Winterhawks back and playing in front of fans for the first time in more than 500 days. That's a long time.
Long time.
The team now has championship banners from last season hanging at Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Thousands of fans watched the Winterhawks take on the Seattle Thunderbirds. The Winterhawks scored first, but Seattle went on to win the game 3-1. Play that music! Your Friday Night Fights. Play of the week sends us to Kaiser. Undefeated McNary hosting Sprague. Final minute, Logan Smith. You've got to be kidding me. He can move, scrambling for his life, and this is just ridiculous. Bombs away and into the arms of Blaze Person. Blaze Pearson. Sprague giving McNary its first loss of the year. What a play from these two. Folks, the final minutes of this one were crazy. Only place you can see the highlights, KGW.com and the KGW YouTube page. If you're a Celtics fan, here's a chance to help them bounce back. Time to pick your game of the week. McNary visits South Salem. Meantime, North Salem hosts St. Helens. In the Metro League, Mountainside visits Sunset or Tualatin, fresh off a total domination over West Lynn, hosts Lake Oswego. Ooh. Log on to KGW.com/GOW to vote. Vote early, vote often. Go now, folks.
That's well hit out to right, and he's done it! Ohtani leads off the game with a homer!
Man, Shohei Ohtani started that game against the Mariners in style. That leadoff homer, 46th homer of the season, and his 100th RBI. Helped the Angels beat the Mariners on the last day of the regular season and also keep the Mariners out of the playoffs.
Oh, bummer.
But you know what? Still a remarkable year for the Seattle Mariners. They won 90 games.
That's a lot.
And they were in the playoff hunt right until the final day. It's your Toyota Sunday Sizzle.
Meaningful baseball in October. Woo. All right, Art, the Portland Timbers on a roll. Going into today against Inter Miami, the team had won 6 of their last 7 games. Picture perfect day for soccer at Providence Park. This game was scoreless until the 83rd minute. Off the corner, and that is Yaroslav Niezgoda. That's all the Timbers would need. Portland wins it 1-0. It's the Timbers' 7th win in their last 8 games, unbeaten in their last 8, 4th place in the West. The Portland Thorns were supposed to play yesterday. Instead, the NWSL canceled all games, and fans are rallying in support of the players.
This came after claims of sexual coercion stretching back about a decade by former Thorns coach Paul Riley. USA Soccer suspended Riley's coaching license after abuse accusations by 2 former players were published in The Athletic. He was then fired by the North Carolina Courage. Riley told The Athletic the allegations against him are untrue. Now, some of the accusations came during Riley's time here in Portland. Some of the Thorns' biggest supporters, the Rose City Riveters, are now calling for action.
And our club didn't protect them, didn't really give them the support I think any of us supporters would have expected them to have gotten. You know, we saw some really damaging information in that article about, you know, what Gavin Wilkinson has said to players, reactions or non-reactions from Merritt Paulson, the owner of the club. And it really just is a call to action for our community to say, this isn't who we want to be.
FIFA and U.S. Soccer have opened up an investigation into the case against Riley, and the NWSL's commissioner has resigned. Among other changes this weekend, the league did announce that there is a new anonymous reporting process, and they promised that all reports would be promptly investigated. Hey, look at this. The Portland Marathon bat, Matt Spear. He won the men's marathon. Kerry Hamilton, the women, in just under, about 2.5 hours.
Oh, we got to run. Maybe we won't storm a field. Who knows? Good night, everyone.